So the format of today's video is going to be different because I keep wanting to try different things. This one I'm going to try and do as real time as I can. I've got multiple cameras here. I'm going to start out with a quick pen drawing. I did a little sketch ahead of time so that I could try and keep the size of this video down. I'm just going to be doing a tree today, and I should say just a tree, but not really. It's also going to be a tree with a little bit of a shadow, and yeah, I'm trying to think how to describe what I'm intending to do. It's going to be the shadow of the tree, but then in addition to that, the shadow is going to be the only place where ground cover is shown. And I'm curious to see what the effect is, what the intent is, just to show the interaction of the different elements of nature and the effects. I've noticed this with a tree in our backyard. It has, there's a small lawn. We've made it smaller because we've got a garden going back in there. And I like having a lawn. Don't get me wrong, I do like having a lawn. But obviously the environmental impact of that is pretty severe. So that's why we have a smaller lawn now. It's been interesting over the years to watch how the shade of the trees on the south side actually help the lawn to grow better. And that's kind of what I'm going to be getting at today with this drawing and this video, is the interaction and the benefits of that interaction on our lives, and on the lives of the critters that we share this planet with. So that's the intent of this one. We'll see if that comes across in the final piece or not. Okay. So, and I'm starting with the ink today because if I don't put ink down first, it seems that I am less likely to do so. So I thought, okay, well, I'll just start with the ink today because that seems to work better as far as fulfilling the requirements of Inktober. If this is the first video you've seen, Inktober is a drawing a day for the month of October, and I've made it even far more difficult on myself because I'm doing a video a day. But anyways, just about done. It does make this a little easier when I start with a pencil sketch. I'm not following the lines, but I've already made the decisions. The hard part's out of the way. It's just a matter of executing it. So, and this is pretty simple subject matter too. Okay. So that is just about there. I also figured that by turning the camera on and trying to get the full length, start to finish, if you will, hopefully that means that this video will be a little easier to edit, and yeah, maybe I'll actually have some time to spend with my wife tonight. That would be nice, and hopefully she would look forward to it too. But anyways, there we go. It seems like the only time I see her right now is to thank her for dinner, which is terrible. So anyways, this is loosely based on the current state of a tree out front in my yard. It's the start of fall, and it's been a fairly mild summer and spring, so there's still a little bit of green in the leaves. Now I'm just going to go up here and grab a little cadmium yellow, just straight yellow. because I want this to be rather bright. And I'm going to pick up the green that I put down. The green was a sap green mixed with a little bit of yellow on the palette, yellow-orange. So I'm just going in, picking up those colors, picking up the green a little bit. It's a wet on dry, but then I'm hoping that I'll see a little bit of interaction between the colors that I'm putting down. So that's the intent there. And I'm just cleaning off the brush real quick, go into some fresh water. I keep multiple buckets of water so I don't muddy the colors. Oop, that's a bit bright. We'll tone that down a bit. I'll just go back into that yellow and grab it. There we go. That's better. It's a real bright yellow, so I love the tree. Just some really good colors. Even though that orange is bright, it's actually pretty spot on. So just grab that and bring it in. I should say it's spot on once it mixes with the yellow. So I really wanted a bright yellow on this one. Almost like a California poppy color. I don't want it to mix too much. Basically just getting the impression of the tree. So kind of have it in my mind what I want. So we're just trying to sneak up on that. And I don't want to get too caught up in it. So and the paper's starting to bubble just a little bit. But yeah, that's a nice bright color. I might try, just going to grab a little orange from the palette, just pop it in there, kind of let it blend a little bit. This is very much not like the painting I did yesterday. There's still control. Don't just throw color on the paper and expect it to look like a tree. But there isn't the level of detail and exacting qualities that you find in man-made objects when it comes to things like trees. I believe Bob Ross talked about that was one of the reasons he liked to paint trees, is because no one noticed if a branch was a little off, but everyone notices if an ear is off. So, and it's true with trucks. Gearheads will know if I've got the wrong radiator on the front of a truck. So there we go. Just mixing in a little bit more of that green. I want to pull a little bit more in there. Kind of use that for the shadow area. Seems like on the shade side, the leaves stay green just a little bit longer. Or maybe that's, I don't know. So there's just little indications here and there. There we go. So I'm going to let that area dry before I go back into the trunk. Now I'm going to switch over to, that's a good spot on the palette. I'm going to switch over, grab a paper towel here real quick. Give myself a spot here. Doesn't have to be clean, it just has to be cleaner. So I'm going to grab a little bit of blue, pop that down. I'm thinking more of a blue-green. I grab some of that yellow that I used in the tree. Grab a little more blue. Technically, you're supposed to clean your brush before you go back into your colors, but that doesn't always happen. There we go. It's kind of a deep color. I'm just figuring it out. So I'm hopping back between ultramarine and cobalt blue. Just trying to sneak up on it. I have an idea for how it's going to look. I'm going to go grab a little bit of that sap green, hooker's green. I should say that I sprayed the, I sprayed the palette with a spray bottle before I started, just to loosen up the colors in the palette. So, a bit more blue. A bit more. I'm trying to get the right mixture and I'm trying to get the right amount. Okay, that's a pretty good one. So now I'm just going to fill in this area. Pretty dark. I'm not going to get the whole area at first because I'm actually going to come back in with some other color to try and give it a little interest as opposed to just a flat color. And go in with that hooker's green, I think a little sap green, a little yellow. Grab that, there we go. Just start to bring that in. Clean off that brush a bit. The brushes can get a little frayed. So sometimes you just need to clean off the brush, get some good amount of water on those brushes, on the bristles, and they'll come back in together, if it's a good brush. So. There we go. Just picking up. I wanted to play a little bit with form on this one. So I'm trying to give the, when a shadow hits grass, it's not a uniform straight line because you've got the different blades of grass actually popping in and out of the shadow area. So I was playing with that one with this design a bit, where I've got bits sticking up at the top here, and then at the bottom I have negative space sticking up into the shadow area. And that's actually, this is what you would see with a proper shadow on a lawn or any irregular surface, is that you'll see the negative space from the bottom stick up into the shadow area, and then you'll see the shadow area along the top stick up into the negative space or the brighter areas. That's what I mean when I say negative space in this context. So there we go. Just little bits right there. There we go. I don't want to overdo it because I can stand the chance of muddying the grass, and I really want to keep that texture as much as possible. So that one was a number 6 brush. I'm now going on to a number 1 round. And I'm going to use my spray bottle. I've got this dark area of earth tones over in here, and I'm just going to mess with those a little bit. Yeah, shoot, this would be, burnt sienna, burnt umber. I think that's Payne's gray. Kind of want a grayish bark color. I'm going to go thin on that. Oh, actually, before I do that, I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow ochre over here. Almost put it in my clean water. Okay, I'm just going to grab a little dab of yellow ochre. I'm going to come in on the sun side, which is the left side here. I'm just going to grab a little highlight. There we go. And now I'm going to go into this little muddy mixture of mine and start up in the tree here. Just pull in some of those details. There we go. Just give some color to the trunk. I'm just blending very gently blending in with that ochre that I just put down. Just letting it blend together, meld. So give that a moment to rest and think about what it's done. I'm going to go up here and grab some of that Payne's Gray. I've got some ivory black off to the side. I think that's mixed with, well, some other stuff. I think that's what I used on the dark shadows. Yeah, that's what I used for the dark shadows on the truck the other day, on the undercarriage. So, and I'm just going to go up in here, just give some indication of some mid-sized branches. I suppose I could do this with the pen, but like I said, you know, as soon as I get into my watercolor, I don't want to put it back. So I did the part I had to with the pen, and now I'm going to go on to the part I really like. So I really do enjoy bringing out the watercolor. There's just it's an old friend at this point. There we go. Just indications. Put in some shadows. Just a little bit of shadow. You need the shadow to show the light. And it has more impact when you use less shadow. When it comes to the shadow on trees, I think. You can very quickly, it's so much fun, it can get away from you and just kind of gobble up your whole world. There we go. So yeah, with the red in that darker mixture, the red right here, it gives this a bit warmer feel than if I were to use like a blue, a lavender that was more towards the blue. So much of shadow I find, or I've found over the years, is a case of what flavor of purple do you want. So that said, I am actually going to pull in a little bit of the Payne's Gray here, just to cool it a little bit, but not much. Just meld that a little tiny bit. I want to keep a strong shadow right in here. A little lighter out here in the light of day. I got a little rock over here that I put in. So just give that a little bit. And just a dab into that Payne's Gray and let it bleed over. Come on, you can do it. There we go. So the top of that rock, barely noticeable, just a little tiny rock. There we go. And that, as they say, I believe, is that. So I'm just going to grab a number 0, slightly smaller, and I'm going to go up and grab some of that green. Grab a bit more. Yeah. And we will call this one done. Just put my symbol to it. Voila! So yeah, I just wanted to do a quick video today and a quick little painting. I'll see how long this took, hopefully not too long. I hope you like this video. If you did, please give this a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button below, probably right about there. And don't forget the little bell icon so that you get a notice when I upload another video tomorrow. If you'd like to help me out, if you'd like to see more of these videos, please go ahead and share this video and other videos of mine that you like on social media. That would help me out a great deal. I'm trying to build up the channel, so that would be a great help there. And yeah, until next time, have a good one.